While we normally cover Yotobashi's top 10 camera sales, Map Camera beat them to it with a few surprises in September. We've got Canon, Sony, Fuji, Ricoh, and even Nikon all in the top 10, giving us a few surprises. But before we get to the details, please subscribe to this channel. It doesn't cost you anything, helps this channel grow, and keeps you up to date on the latest camera coverage. I think we all know who's in number one. And yeah, it's the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, despite all the warnings from Canon Global, that we could wait more than 6 months to get our camera if we purchased it after the pre-order period. Although we're finding out that many people are buying it and getting it in just the last couple of weeks. A few people have reported to me, said, hey, I just ordered it and I received it just a week ago. So the number one spot at Map Camera is the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. Now the number two spot, this one is a little bit of a surprise to me because this camera's been out for 2 years. And if you're guessing it's a Sony a7 IV, you'd be wrong. It's actually the Canon EOS R6 Mark II. Now this camera has kind of dropped in its ranks over the past, well, 6 months to 12 months. And I think the reason why it's in the number two spot at Map Camera could just simply be because, well, Canon's got a pretty hefty discount on this camera, $500 off. And that discount's been on there for, I don't know how long now. Is it up to 4, 5, 6 months? So that offers a pretty big discount. So Canon has the number one and the number two spot, but that's it for Canon in the top 10. In third place, we have the Fujifilm X-T5. The X-T5 is a 40 megapixel full frame camera that's capable of 20 frames per second continuous shooting, provides 7.5 stops of IBIS, and in terms of video, can deliver 8K video up to 60 frames per second at a price of $16.99. In fourth place, we have the Sony a7C II, announced in August 2023 and delivering 33 megapixels, higher than most cameras in the class. It has a full frame sensor, but only delivers 10 frames per second, held back by that CF Express Type A card. And in terms of video, it can deliver 4K up to 30 frames per second with S-Cinetone and S-Log3, and it provides you the ability to supply your own LUTs for a price of $21.98. In fifth place, we have the Fujifilm X-T50, the second Fujifilm camera in the top 10 for a more affordable $13.99, delivering 40 megapixels, 4K video up to 60 frames per second, and 7 stops of IBIS, as well as AI-assisted subject recognition. And we're starting to see an awful lot of AI-assisted autofocus capabilities such as subject recognition. In Sony cameras, we have a dedicated AI processing chip. And in Canon cameras, well, we have the same thing, only they call it the Digic Accelerator. So I think we can expect to see a lot more of these AI-assisted autofocus capabilities, allowing us to be able to, well, focus or get the camera to focus the way we would think. In sixth place, we have the Nikon ZF, a 24 megapixel retro-styled camera that's capable of 4K video up to 30 frames per second, 96 megapixel high-resolution mode for a price of $19.96. In seventh place, we have the Ricoh GR3, which is the second most affordable camera in the top 10, with a price of $10.66. But that price does have its limits. You're not going to find any 4K video, but you will get 1080 at 60 frames per second, 3-axis stabilization, but you will get 1920 by 1080 at 60 frames per second, and 3-axis stabilization on this travel-sized camera. And in eighth place, we have our most popular Sony camera ever made. Can you guess which one it is? Now, this is the one that many of you guessed would have been in second place, because when we did the Yodobashi top 10 for the longest time, well, the Sony a7 IV dominated the top 3. If it wasn't in first place, it was in second or third. It has a 33 megapixel camera capable of 10 frames per second continuous shooting, 4K video up to 60 frames per second with focus breathing compensation. And despite the a7 IV getting ready for a refresh, with rumors abounding that it's going to happen sometime between now and Q1 of 2025, Sony still doesn't have the a7 IV discounted. All that despite Canon and Nikon offering discounts on most of their cameras, with pretty significant discounts across all but the newest models. In 9th place, we have the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, the perfect travel-size camera priced at $669 for the Creator Bundle. It delivers 4K up to 60 frames per second. It's lightweight, compact, allowing you to travel anywhere. For many, it's the perfect travel companion. But if you're an aggressive mountain climber, where you do everything bare hand, you might want to consider a more robust tool. And finally, in 10th, we have the recently announced Nikon Z6 Mark III with its partially stacked 24 megapixel sensor, video up to 6K 60 frames per second, Nikon RAW, 4K 120 frames per second, and 60 frames per second continuous stills, although that's in JPEG. At $24.96, it's best in class. But keep in mind, Sony's about to announce their refresh for the A7 IV, the A7 V, which will be a direct competitor to the Nikon Z6 Mark III. And the Canon EOS R6 Mark II, it's about to get a refresh in 2025 in Q1 with the Canon R6 Mark III. I almost said Z6 Mark III. The R6 Mark III is about to be refreshed, so while the Nikon Z6 Mark III is currently best in class, that could change. And one thing we're expecting to see in the Canon R6 Mark III is that new AI processing chip, what Canon calls the Digic Accelerator. In the R5 Mark II, it really steps up that autofocus system, making it best in class. So putting that in the R6 Mark III will definitely give Nikon a run for their money. But what's really good is if you're a customer of Sony, Nikon, or Canon, or you're looking at getting into the game, this space is getting very, very competitive. So it's the best of both worlds for everybody. Thank you, Canon, Sony, and Nikon for upping your competition because we as customers really benefit. And speaking of benefiting, well, a lot of these cameras that I talked about today aren't on sale. Canon and Nikon have a huge amount of discounts on right now, from the low-end cameras, such as the R100 on Canon side, the Z50, the Z30 on Nikon side, all the way up to the top end. The only cameras that currently aren't on sale, well, they're the ones that they just released, like the Nikon Z6 Mark III, the Canon R5 Mark II. Everything else is on sale. Now, I'm not going to tell you the sale prices today because as of recording, it's Saturday, and as we click over to Sunday, the prices are going to change a little bit. But for most of this year, we've seen significant prices. At one point, the R100 was about $100, $125 off. The Z8 was up to $500 off. The Canon EOS R5 Mark II all the way down to $28.99. However, Black Friday is coming up, and while we would expect to see some further price discounts, let's just say on Black Friday, we'll see Canon, Nikon, and others sharpening their pencil the most. That's where we'll see the best deals. But some of the deals that we're seeing right now, I can't see them getting that much better on Black Friday. But if you're going to hold off till Black Friday, I don't think that's a bad deal. But again, see what's out there right now. And if you do purchase anything using my affiliate links down below, I've got about 20 to 30 of the best-selling cameras down below that are on sale. And if you do use those, I could get a small commission back. But you don't have to punch in any codes, fill out any forms, or go through any convoluted links. They take you directly to Adorama, B&H, or Amazon.com, and we both benefit extremely well. You get a great camera at a really good price, and I get a small commission back from the retailer, and it's very much appreciated because using these affiliate links, even if it's a small item, well, you're what's helping keep this camera on the air, or sorry, camera on the air, this channel on the air. It's all viewer supported. I mean, this is kind of like public television. If it wasn't for support from viewers like you, literally, it would be very tough to do this. And the pillar of this channel has been built on creating a community, supporting the community. And you'll see this in video after video. It's very rare that I'm not in there in the first hour responding to your comments and engaging with you on social media. But that's it for now. Have yourself a great weekend, or at least what's left of it. And we'll see you next week. Don't forget, I'm doing a live stream on October the 30th to welcome in Canon's new lenses. Which ones are they? Well, we'll have to wait and see on October the 30th. But I did publish a video a few days ago talking about what lenses I expect to see. The 24-50mm f1.4 VCM, the 70-200mm f2.8 power zoom. And Canon rumors are saying we might get 2 others at the same event. So we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you again soon.